Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. Today is an exciting day because we get to work on a boat. So, you know, summer's coming around, summer's pretty much here. And we do still have that boat that we did last year. If you guys didn't see that video, definitely, we'll leave a link in the description or something like that. But it's a smaller boat, and you know, I got 4 kids, Michael's got 4 kids, so we need 2 boats, you know. So we picked up this boat the same time we picked up that bug, but it's just been sitting, you know, we've been working on other stuff, but finally, the day has come. It's early in the morning, the sun's not shining on us yet, so we're gonna start working on this thing. We're probably gonna, you know, check it out, because it did have fire damage on the engine. If you guys saw in the video before, we kind of looked at it. It doesn't look that bad, but we don't know the condition of the engine whatsoever. So pretty much today I want to check out the engine, see if we get this thing running, see if we can get some life back into this boat, and if everything's good, go on the lake. You know, who knows? You never know with the, you know, the things we bought at auction. You don't know the condition of them. But whoever owned this boat definitely took care of it. I mean, the interior is still in really good shape. We just got to do a little bit of pressure washing, which we can do after we, you know, mess with the engine. So we're gonna just go inside. Let's check out the interior of this boat and go from there. All right, so we're finally inside the boat, and this is gonna be the captain chair right here. So a lot of room, you know, it's got a little bit of mildew going on. It's been sitting for a while, who knows for how long. Definitely in our shop for at least two months or whatnot, maybe less. But definitely this one's a big boat. It fits about 12 people, which is really cool. It does have the V8 engine in there, which is pretty nice. It's got another chair right here. Swivels, I mean, the leather or this material can definitely be washed up and cleaned up, but I don't see no tears, something like that. It's got a big bench in the back, and then we got the V8 engine in here. But let's check out the rest of the boat before we check out the engine. As we go up here, it's got like little compartments right here. That looks like a little bathroom, maybe? Leave us a comment down below. Is this a bathroom? It looks like it, but definitely a lot of storage for the life jackets, all the little toys. And then it closes up, which is really nice. And on this side, I think it's the same thing. Yep, more storage. I mean, you could hide in there if you had to. If it started raining, boom, it's not gonna get wet no more. But then we'll go to the front. It's got speakers on the bottom, which is really good. It's got this little bench seat, so you can definitely fit a lot of people in here. You can cruise on the water because it is definitely getting hot. It's got this really big anchor right here. That's pretty cool. But definitely the boat's, I think, in really good condition. The glass. Oh, we're gonna have to bend this forward a little bit because it's hitting right there. So most likely this is sagging a little bit, but that shouldn't be no issue. And this thing comes with a wiper blade, so it's made for the rain, you know, or ocean. But let's go back here. Oh, let's check out this middle compartment, see if there's anything in here. Probably more storage. Oh, look at that, definitely more storage. You definitely have to wash all this out, but not too bad. Oh, this little compartment maybe comes out too. Oh, that's the gas tank. We'll leave that alone. And let's check out the engine. So the little seat should come up. Oh, there we go. There's our fire extinguisher. We got a little table, so we could probably plug it in right there. That's pretty nice. Let's see, this fire extinguisher still good to go. No, it's empty because they probably used it. Wow. So, and then hopefully this will lift up the whole thing. There it is. It's on the shocks, but the shocks are no good. Let me find a little stand for the shocks and we'll go from there. All right, so I actually used the little table rod thing to hold it up for now, but we're definitely gonna take this thing off. Looks like there's 2 screws right there and 2 screws right there, and then the hood shocks or the shocks will come out, and then we'll probably get a lot more room in here. But as you guys can see, there's a lot of fire extinguisher on this side, and there's a battery right there. There's 2 batteries, so who knows? I mean, it's been covered up. There's no water inside, so that's good. It's definitely a big engine, a V8. So let's go ahead and take this thing off, and then we'll probably mess with the batteries.
that top came off. It was a little heavy, I'm surprised. Maybe it's got a lot of padding on it, who knows. But hey, lots of space now. Look at this big old engine right here. So this is the time, honestly, I'm really excited to see if this thing will spin or if it's locked up. It's really nervous, you know, it's like, man, do we got a good deal or a bad deal? If it's locked up, then we got a lot of work ahead of us. You know, this is the fork of the road, which direction we're going. But yeah, a lot easier to get it now. I mean, look at all this space you could work with, so that's pretty cool. So let's try to spin it, Ivan. I mean, I'm honestly...
Get a jump box and...
We'll just try to spin it by hand first, and just see if it's even locked up, and then...
Maybe charge your batteries if it spins over good.
Yeah.
It's got 2 big batteries. So, yeah, let's try it. Let's get a wrench and spin it over.
Spin it.
Spins over. All right, so we got the batteries. We took the batteries out. They're on the charger right now, really quick. And then I took the wrench and the engine spin over. So it spun over really easy. Didn't feel too bad. Next thing I want to do is actually let's pressure wash this thing a little bit. Let's clean it up and start looking for the damages. So we'll cover up the intake. We'll cover up that little through. Make sure the drain plug is out. And we'll lightly pressure wash everything. And be a little bit easier to work with. So let's just do that. Alright, so pressure washing did a good number on this thing. It looks really clean. Then we blew off all the water because we got a little bit in the throttle body, but that's not a biggie. We got definitely cleaned that. And we can't give it gas right now, but I think we should try to crank it over. So the battery charged up pretty quick. It's green. We got the key. We checked the oil. Oil is looking good. So let's give it a turn and see what happens.
Let's do it. All right, moment of truth right now. Let's see what happens. There's no key. That's not good. Misplaced the key. Be back shortly. And we found the key. All right, so apparently our batteries are still bad, but now we got power. We got a horn. Let's see what happens. All right, let's get some more power to it. Here. That's enough power. It's not spinning? Uh-oh.
It just got cooked.
Maybe it's the belt, Ivan. Remember last time that other thing was seized up and wouldn't want to spin.
It ain't the belt, brother.
All right, so we got power to it finally. We tried to spin it over and it sounded like it was locking up. So that's not really good because I did spin it. It did, you know, move. But I didn't do a full churn, so that's not good. And then I just opened up the throttle body and there's some water in there, definitely not from me pressure washing. So let's go ahead and take some spark plugs off and check the block, because in there it looks like there is corrosion. That's not good at all. But if it did move, we could probably put some oil in there and kind of break it down. But let's keep tearing down and see what else we find. All right, so we got the spark plugs out. We got 4 on this side and 4 on this side. And when I unscrewed 2 on this side, water actually came out. So it wasn't really corroded looking water, so fresh, so who knows. But let's go ahead and try to spin this thing over by hand again. Let's see what happens. All right, let's try with the start. Alright, so we just had a bunch of oil squirt out that little plug. Let's try it again. Ready?
Yep. Get all that crap out of there.
Look, it's shooting gas in there.
Is it really?
Yeah, zoom in right here.
Yeah, it is.
All right, so good news, we got the engine to spin over, which is really good, but look at the mess we made. So that's oil or water. It's not looking corroded, so that's really good, but let's go ahead and pressure wash a little bit so this doesn't stain everything, and then we'll probably get new spark plugs. All right, so we got the new spark plugs. Here's the new one, here's the old one, and the old one's not that bad, but we might as well replace them since we got them out. So let's go ahead and install all of the 8 that we have to do, and then we'll go from there. All right, so we got the spark plugs installed. I double checked everything. Everything looks really good. So let's try to spin it over. Wow. Started right up. I still got the coolant hoses to take off, and we still got the earmuffs to put on. So let's put that on. We'll try it again. All right, so we got the water running. I don't see anything leaking over here. Let's start it up again with the water. Definitely dumping a lot of gas in there.
Try to put in gear. That's up, that's up. Yeah, that's good. Up and down is good. But it's not, go up, go up.
All right, so we got it running, the water's hooked up, but these were warming up a little too fast. I was feeling the hoses, didn't feel like any water was going in there. I just opened it and nothing came out and the water's still on. So we're gonna have to take apart this water pump, maybe take off this section and see what's going on. All right, so we took off the main water pump. I took off the plane. Everything looks really good. There's no play, there's no crazy corrosion going inside. Also, this thing has an auxiliary water pump right there. I guess pumps it from the main one. So let's start it. I put another hose on there, clamp thing. It should be a lot better. Let's try it again. So we're still having no water come out. So let's take this thing apart. So it does not look like it's going to be easy, but let's replace, or let's take the hose off. We'll see if water's coming in this way. It still could be plugged from the bottom going this way, so let's just try it. All right, so I took off one of the hoses. No water came out, so it's not being sucked up. So I hooked up the water hose, and we're going backwards now. So the water's going in and it's definitely pouring out. So most likely, I don't think is the water pump's bad. So let's take the water pump off and check it out. All right, so there is our auxiliary water pump, and I can kind of see something in there. Looks like rubber, something. Look at that. So looks like the rubber fins all broke off. That's why it's not pumping water. So we're gonna have to get a new one. All right, guys, so I went to the local boat guy, and he actually had it in stock. Somebody ordered it, and they didn't need it. So let's go ahead and take this apart. He said, you know, as long as the housing didn't get too hot or doesn't have any cracks, you should be good to go. So let's take it apart and see what happens. All right, so we got the water pump installed, the little rubber thing. Let's get installed the engine. All right, so we got the pump installed, and it went back in a lot easier than I thought. And we got the water turned on. So let's do a quick start, and technically it should pump water throughout. We should be able to see water coming out, so. So as you guys can see, water came out. That's a really good sign. That means our pump's working again. Let's go ahead and clean up the water pump and get that installed. All right, so there's our water pump. I put this cover back on. Also, I had to make my own gaskets because we couldn't get them today. Put some new gasket sealer on that. So let's get this thing installed and get the belts on there. All right, so just like that, we got everything installed. It's been a little bit, so the gaskets are definitely dry. So let's go ahead, turn on the water, and then we are going to start it. See the spitting water out. Alright, so I'm ready to start cleaning my interior. So I got some Clorox, some bleach, some gloves, a sponge, and then we have our Giraffe power washer. This thing's actually really nice. Not too crazy, and works nice and quiet, so we'll use that thing, and we'll start working on the interior. Then we'll clean up the exterior and see how it turns out. Let's get to it. Alright, so there we have it. We cleaned most of it. I gotta say, it turned out really good. Pretty happy with it. The floor was pretty nasty. Had to keep washing it, purple powering it, but the seats turned out really nice. This one has a little stain, but we'll see if we can get it out later. But other than that, I mean, not bad. Not bad at all. So the sun is going down, so let's go ahead and wash the outside of the boat and go from there. Alright guys, so after a long day of work on this boat, which went from an exciting moment in the morning, then the engine was locked up, and then we got it freed, and then we got it running. Man, it's been a long day, it's been a long journey, but I'm super happy. You know, leave us a comment down below what you guys think of the boat so far, of the progress so far. I mean, the boat's running. We don't know if, you know, if the head gasket's good still on it. We're still, you know, I let it run for a little bit, but it didn't warm up. We're gonna have to hit the lake and see how much power it has. But so far, it's looking good. You know, it's got new spark plugs. The oil's looking good, but if, you know, once we get it back from the lake, we'll probably change the oil in it and things like that. So I'm really happy. The interior cleaned out really well. The exterior cleaned out really well. I mean, this is a little fading. We might have to repaint this. So, you know, I was thinking maybe like a yellow, you know, or a red or a blue, because green's kind of, you know, doesn't stand out. And in the water, you know, bright color's gonna look good. But unfortunately, that's all the time we got for today's episode, you guys. Stay tuned for next time, where hopefully we're gonna take it to the lake, and then we're gonna check out everything else, like the radio, the bilge pump. You know, there's a lot of little other things, the navigation lights and all like that. But we'll have to do that next time. You guys have to stay tuned, and we'll catch you guys then.